Let me tell you something. Most people will never rise above mediocrity. They'll spend their lives making excuses, waiting for the right time, surrounding themselves with losers who keep them small. But not you. You're here because something in you refuses to settle. Something in you is hungry. Let me be very clear. That hunger, if fed the right way, is what separates the weak from the strong, the forgotten from the legendary. So how do you know you're evolving into a high-value person? It's not some participation trophy nonsense. It's not about people patting you on the back and telling you how motivated you are. It's about results. It's about the transformation happening inside you, whether the world sees it yet or not. First, you no longer tolerate mediocrity. You see it all around you. People complaining, wasting time, settling for good enough. And instead of joining them, you cut them off like dead weight. You refuse to let mediocrity poison your mind, your time, or your circle. You demand more from yourself. And by doing so, you naturally separate from the herd. Second, your actions do the talking. No more empty words. No more dreaming without execution. You wake up and attack the day. You make moves while others hesitate. You take risks while others look permission. You understand that success is built on bold decisions, not wishful thinking. Third, you embrace discomfort. Weak people avoid struggle. They want things to be easy. You run toward challenges. You know that every uncomfortable situation, every setback, every moment of pain is an opportunity to sharpen your mind, strengthen your resolve, and build the kind of toughness that scares the average person. You don't complain when it gets hard. You double down. Fourth, you don't need to beg for respect. People can feel your energy before you say a word. You carry yourself with confidence, not arrogance, because you know exactly who you are and what you stand for. You don't seek validation. You create results. And that alone makes people take notice. Finally, you think long-term. While others chase quick wins, instant gratification, and the next dopamine hit, you stay disciplined. You sacrifice today for tomorrow. You move like a chess master, always 5 steps ahead, knowing that true success isn't built overnight. It's built over time through relentless focus and discipline. So let me ask you, you're willing to do what it takes? Because if you are, you won't just become high value. You'll become unstoppable. You'll become the person who doesn't just play the game. You change the game. Now get out there and make it happen. You no longer tolerate mediocrity. There comes a moment in every high achiever's life when they look around and say, enough is enough. Enough. They realize that the people they once called friends are dragging them down. They see the endless distractions, the wasted time, the excuses, and the pathetic standards society has normalized. And they refuse to be part of it. The average person is comfortable in mediocrity. They wake up, do the bare minimum, complain about their circumstances, and then repeat the cycle day after day, year after year, never making any real progress. They tell themselves that one day they'll chase their dreams, but one day never comes because they're too busy indulging in cheap entertainment, hanging around losers, and making excuses for why they aren't where they want to be. But you're different. You feel that fire inside you, don't you? Don't you? The one that tells you you're meant for more. That voice in your head screaming at you to stop wasting time, to cut the dead weight, to raise your standards and start acting like the person you were meant to be. That's the difference between the high-value individual and the mediocre majority. You actually listen to that voice. Eliminating low-value people in environments, a high-value person understands the power of association. If you surround yourself with people who accept mediocrity, you will start to accept it too. If the people around you are content being broke, overweight, and unmotivated, you will become just like them. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. Look around. Who do you spend your time with? Are they pushing you to be better? Are they challenging you? Are they setting an example of excellence? Or are they draining your energy, distracting you with nonsense, and pulling you down to their level? You don't have time to babysit people who refuse to grow. The hard truth? Some people just don't want success. They say they do. But when it's time to put in the work, they disappear. They'd rather stay in their comfort zones, blaming the world for their failures, while doing nothing to change their situation. And if you keep them around, they will poison your mindset. Cut them off. No apologies. No explanations. Just do it. This isn't about being cruel. It's about protecting your destiny. High-value people don't waste their energy trying to fix others who don't want to be fixed. You're not responsible for dragging people to the top. You're responsible for becoming the best version of yourself. And once you do that, you'll naturally attract other high-value individuals who match your energy. Raising your standards in everything, eliminating mediocrity doesn't stop with people. It applies to everything in your life. Your work ethic, your habits, your mindset, your health, your discipline. You set higher expectations for yourself and you meet them. No more slacking off. No more accepting half effort. No more waiting for the right moment. You make the moment. You attack every single day with intensity, knowing that average actions will never lead to an extraordinary life. Think about the most successful people in the world. Do they settle? Do they coast through life, hoping things will magically improve? Or do they demand excellence from themselves and everyone around them? The answer is obvious. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you tolerate. The minute you refuse to tolerate laziness, excuses, and mediocrity, your life changes. You stop wasting time with things that don't move you forward. You stop entertaining people who don't match your ambition. You start making every decision with purpose, discipline, and intensity. And suddenly you realize you're no longer part of the mediocre majority. You've risen above them. And once you do that, you never go back. Your actions speak louder than words. In a world full of talkers, the high-value individual is a doer. Everywhere you look, people are running their mouths about their dreams, their plans, their goals. But when it's time to execute, they disappear. They'll tell you all about the business they're going to start. They'll go on and on about the weight they're going to lose, the money they're going to make, the success they're going to achieve. But guess what? They never follow through. Why? Because talking is easy. Talking requires no effort, no discipline, no risk. It gives people a temporary sense of achievement without actually doing anything. It allows them to feel like they're making progress when, in reality, they're standing still. A high-value person doesn't fall into this trap. They understand one fundamental truth. Results are the only thing that matter. No one cares about your plans. No one cares about your excuses. The world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. Taking relentless action, a high-value person moves differently. When they set a goal, they don't just talk about it. They attack it with brutal intensity. They don't wait for the perfect moment because they know it doesn't exist. They understand that action creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Think about the most successful people in the world. Do you think they sit around making excuses? Do you think they waste time explaining why they haven't started yet? No, absolutely not. They wake up every day and execute. When they say they're going to do something, they do it. When they commit to a goal, they follow through. When they hit an obstacle, they find a way through it. The average person hesitates. They overthink, they procrastinate, they let fear control them. But the high-value individual knows that speed matters. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who take action before they feel ready. Turning ideas into reality, anyone can have an idea. Ideas are worthless without execution. The world is full of people with $1 million ideas that never go anywhere. They'll tell you, I had that idea years ago, when they see someone else succeed. But guess what? Ideas don't mean anything if you don't act on them. A high-value person moves fast or chase. They don't wait for permission. You don't sit around second-guessing themselves. They take massive action, adjust as they go, and make things happen. You want to start a business? Do it today. You want to get in shape? Go to the gym now. You want to improve your skills? Start learning right away. Stop waiting. Stop talking. Start doing. Let your results speak for you when you become a person of action. You no longer have to convince people of your value. They can see it. Your results speak for you. Your success becomes undeniable. You walk into a room, and people feel your presence, not because you boast, but because they see what you've built. They see the discipline, the effort, the success. And that's when you realize you don't need to explain yourself. While others are still talking about what they want to do, you've already done it. That's the difference between being average and being high value. Now ask yourself, are you just talking, or are you taking action? Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what you've actually done. You embrace discomfort and challenge. Let's get one thing straight. Success is not supposed to be easy. Growth is not supposed to feel comfortable. The second you start craving comfort, you start dying. You start dying. And the second you start avoiding challenge, you start losing. Most people will do anything to avoid discomfort. They avoid hard conversations, difficult decisions, and situations that test them. They don't want to struggle. They don't want to feel pain. They just want things to be as smooth and easy. But guess what? That mindset guarantees failure. Every high-value individual understands one thing. Discomfort is the price of success. If you want to rise above mediocrity, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to see challenges as opportunities instead of obstacles. You have to train yourself to push forward when most people would quit. Because weakness comes from avoiding struggle. Strength comes from embracing it. Growth only happens through struggle. Think about the strongest, most successful people in the world. Did they get there by taking it easy? Did they reach the top by staying in their comfort zones? Absolutely not. They became who they are because they endured more pain, more struggle, and more discomfort than anyone else was willing to handle. When you lift weights, your muscles don't grow unless they are pushed to failure. Your body breaks down so it can rebuild stronger. Success in life works the same way. If you're never struggling, never uncomfortable, never being pushed past your limits, you're not growing. Most people avoid struggle because they don't understand this truth. The second things get hard, they look for an exit. The second they feel discomfort, they start making excuses. And that's why they stay stuck. But you're different. You seek out struggle because you know that's where the real transformation happens. You push yourself into difficult situations because you know that's how you develop mental toughness. You take on challenges because you know every battle you fight makes you stronger. Challenges separate the strong from the weak. Life is always going to test you. It's going to throw obstacles in your path. It's going to push you to your limits. And here's the hard truth. Most people will fail those tests. They will give up. They will break under pressure. But not you. But not you. You thrive under pressure. You welcome the hard days because you know they're shaping you into something greater. You don't pray for an easier road. You pray for the strength to walk the hard one. Every time life tries to knock you down, you stand back up. Every time you hit a wall, you find a way through it. Every time you feel like quitting, you push forward anyway. And that is what makes you different. That is what makes you unstoppable. Winners run toward the fire. Weak people run from discomfort. Winners run straight toward it. A high-value individual sees a challenge. They don't hesitate. They don't back down. They attack it head on. Because they know that on the other side of that challenge is the next level of their success. If you want to win in life, you have to start embracing pain. You have to rewire your mind to see discomfort as a gift, not a punishment. You have to stop fearing struggle and start seeking it. Because at the end of the day, there's only one question that matters. Are you going to let discomfort break you? Or are you going to use it to make you unstoppable? You command respect without begging for it. Respect is not something you ask for. It's not something you beg for. It's not something you chase. Respect is something you command. And the moment you start understanding that, your entire life changes. Most people go through life desperate for validation. They want to be liked. They want to be accepted. They want people to approve of them. And that's exactly why they never get real respect. Because people can smell weakness. They can sense insecurity. And the more you try to prove yourself to others, the less they take you seriously. A high-value individual operates on a different level. They don't seek validation. They don't need approval. They walk into a room and people feel their presence before they even say a word. They radiate confidence, certainty, and strength, not because they try to, but because they built themselves into someone who deserves it. Respect is earned through actions, not words. You can't fake respect. You can't demand it. You have to earn it. You have to earn it. And the only way to do that is through your actions. A high-value individual moves differently. They don't talk about what they're going to do. They just do it. They don't make empty promises. They follow through. They don't seek attention. They let their results speak for themselves. And when people see that level of discipline, execution, and confidence, they respect it. Contrast that with the average person. They talk a big game, but they don't deliver. They want people to respect them, but they haven't done anything worthy of respect. They make noise, but they have nothing to back it up. People respect results. They respect strength. They respect those who operate with certainty, discipline, and purpose. And if you want to command respect, that's exactly what you need to embody. Confidence is a byproduct of competence. A lot of people misunderstand confidence. They think it's about acting tough, being loud, or pretending to be something they're not. But real confidence comes from competence. It comes from actually being good at what you do. It comes from knowing you can deliver, knowing you can execute, knowing you're capable. When you've put in the work, when you've built the skills, when you've overcome challenges, you don't need to fake confidence. It's just there. You carry yourself differently because you know you're the real deal. And when people sense that, they respect it. Because confidence without competence is delusion. But confidence backed by results and discipline, that's power. The silent power of presence. A high-value person doesn't need to be the loudest in the room. They don't need to dominate conversations just to prove a point. They don't need to show off. Instead, they speak only when necessary. They listen more than they talk. And when they do speak, every word carries weight because people know it's coming from a place of certainty and experience. But the strongest people in any room are not the ones desperate to be heard. They are the ones whose mere presence demands attention. They walk with confidence. They hold themselves with discipline. They have a sense of purpose in everything they do. And that is why people respect them without question. Stop seeking, start becoming. If you have to beg for respect, you'll never get it. If you have to prove yourself to everyone around you, you're already losing. Instead of chasing respect, become someone who naturally commands it. Focus on your growth, your discipline, your results. Walk with purpose, operate with confidence, and never lower your standards. Because at the end of the day, respect is not something you ask for. It's something you earn by becoming someone who deserves it. You are becoming unstoppable. Look around you. Look at the people stuck in the same cycle. Complaining, making excuses, waiting for something to change. That's not you anymore. You've raised your standards. You've taken action. You've embraced the struggle, faced the challenges, and stopped seeking approval. You command respect, not through words, but through the way you move, the way you work, and the way you show up every single day. This is what separates you from the rest. The world doesn't reward the weak. It doesn't care about intentions. It respects those who execute, those who demand more from themselves, those who refuse to settle. You are becoming one of those people. And once you step into this new version of yourself, this unstoppable, high-value force, there's no going back. So keep going, keep raising the bar, keep pushing forward with power, with purpose, and with relentless intensity. Because the world belongs to those who take it. And you are taking everything that's yours.